Okay, so a complex number looks like this. A plus bi, where A and B are real numbers. Okay, that's on the front, back there. Now, let's review. What is I equal to? I is equal to the square root of something. Who remembers? -1, right? So if I equals the square root of -1, because that's our imaginary, what if I squared I? What would happen when I square the square root of -1? Make it positive. What happens when you square a square root? Yes, they cancel out, right? So the opposite operation, so that would cancel out. So I squared is just going to equal a -1, right? So then later on, in a few minutes, and I'll show you when we multiply an I and an I and we get an I squared, that simplifies to be a -1. Okay? So when we do operations with these numbers, it's really easy because all you do is you add the real numbers together, the numbers without an I, and then you add the terms with an I together. Right? Easy enough. So if we have 3 plus 2i plus 5 minus 4i, we add 3 and 5 together since they're like terms. So 3 plus 5 is 8. And then we'll add the 2i plus the -4i together since they're like terms. So it's 2 plus the -4i, -2i. Right? And then usually when we have an answer, like say we had an answer like 2x plus 5 when we simplified an expression, then we would always put the x first, right? But with complex numbers, we always put the imaginary part, the term with the I at the end. Okay? So it's always the number first and then the i's at the end. So it'll be 8 minus 2i. Not the other way around. Not -2i plus 8. Okay, let's do another one. So let's do 8. Subtract the quantity 4 minus 5i plus 2 plus 5i. So what happens when we subtract a quantity like here? What happens to the signs of what's in that quantity? Yes, the opposite, right? So then this will really be 8 minus 4, and then it will be minus 5i or plus 5i? Plus, because it will be subtracting that negative. So it'll be plus 5i, then plus 2, plus 5i. So then we can add all of our numbers together. So 8 minus 4 plus 2, what's that? 6. Then plus 5i plus another 5i plus 10i. And that's it. Easy, right? Okay, now let's do a multiplying. Questions so far though? Okay, let's do a multiplying example. So number 3. All right, okay, so let's multiply the 4i to the 2. So 4i times 2 is just 8i, and then 4i times a positive 9i gives us plus 36i squared. And let's review what I told you just a few minutes ago. I squared is always going to simplify to be a -1. So then this will be 8i plus 36 times a -1. So that's really just going to turn into negative 36. And we're going to put that first, and then the plus 8i at the end. Okay, so never put a final answer with an I squared, because that's not all the way simplified, because I squared is equal to a negative 1. Okay? All right, let's do one more multiply. Here we go. So now let's multiply negative 2 plus 9i times negative 3 minus 10i. So when we multiply these quantities, do we need to use Fred or the box?
No.
Wrong answer. Yes. So if we do Fred, I'm actually going to do both ways. So negative 2 plus 9i. Okay, I'm going to write both. You guys use which one you prefer. It doesn't matter. Oops. All right, so your terms, you should have a positive 6, positive 20i, negative 27i, and a negative 90i squared, right? No matter which one you used. And then we can simplify the I squared to be negative 1. So negative 1 times negative 90, what will that turn into? Plus 90, right? This is negative 90 times negative 1, so this will be plus 90. Then we can add those numbers together, so 6 plus 90 is 96, 20i minus 27i, negative 7i. So 96 minus 7i is our final answer. Questions? Okay, easy. So what we're going to do is a relay race. And let me show you how this is going to work.